My Love of Life Energy is a podcast created by Anna Scott. Anna knows that every human being sees life uniquely. In this podcast, she will talk to people and learn from them. These conversations are to shine the brilliance of each human being she speaks to. Join her. After each exploration, you will expand on your insights and see truth and beauty.
Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to my pod, My Love of Life Energy. And today I'm just so excited to have my guest. Her name is Laurie Clemans, and I met Laurie Clemans, God, I don't even know how long ago. I was talking to her in the middle of it. I got a parking ticket or a ticket. But then when I met Laurie, have you ever walked into some house and you're in awe of their beauty and you realize the beauty was not just on the inside, but the inside. It was inside and outside matched. Was this beautiful soul was in that got expressed all throughout her home, all throughout the way she dressed, the way she cooked, the way she lived her life. And there's this beautiful, loving soul. And so with that, I'm so honored to have you here today, Laurie. Welcome.
Thank you, Anna. I'm delighted to be with you today and just bask in your presence. You're always so joyful and you're always so complimentary. It's like I was saying before we got on the call, it's hard not to receive when it's so heartfelt. It's hard not to receive it. And, it's easier to let it in and to really feel how much you care about what you do and all the people that you touch.
You just did it again. See, there you go. Your beautiful heart. Now, I know since our journey, you've always been a seeker. But one of the things that you have done recently is you went through I don't know if it's a certification, but you have been studying meditation and Buddhism. Is that correct?
Yes, it is actually. Though I think back when I was in college, I first discovered Yogananda and the Self-Realization Fellowship Center. And I remember being about 22 saying, I want to be enlightened in this lifetime. And then life happened and all kind of schmutz came up and things went crazy and sideways and upside down and beautiful. And I spent time in sweat lodges. I did ayahuasca. I traveled to all parts of the world to meet various beautiful, holy people. And I was still wondering, what is going on here? What is happening here? And why do I feel so much pain and see so much pain? And somewhere along the line, with great good fortune, I discovered this studying of Tibetan Buddhism. And I felt like a light was turned on, like became a well-lighted path to a step-by-step unfolding of the human journey, honoring the human journey and the human being in the process of becoming more spacious, present, and open, as well as more compassionate in service of others.
Oh my God. And wow. Give me because I can feel spaciousness and openness. And what do you see about openness and openness of the heart?
A teacher that I have been connecting with more recently, he made this statement of there is no enlightenment without compassion. He repeated it 3 times because that is what I have experienced as the doorway to living a fully embodied life right here and right now. And that is first, it's, we call it in Tibetan Buddhism, it's called Maitri. So it's compassion for ourselves and seeing our own foibles, feeling care for ourselves and love for ourselves as we are and as we can be. And then we begin to expand it to those closest to us. How do we see love and acceptance for others as they are? And then as we expand, we can bring in more of the world, and then a really more universal presence of compassion flowing through our veins, through every pore of our bodies. And it's an ongoing practice. It's a daily practice. And the compassion can really be fun too. I remember one time I was on my way to a yoga class, and there was someone in front of me, and they were going so slow. And I wanted to get to that class. And I remember like honking lightly at them. And all of a sudden, oh my God, they're going the same direction as me. Oh my God, they're going to the parking lot for the yoga class. Oh no, they're going in the door. And I hid my car, parked my car far away, and I slunk in and I went, namaste as I went through the door. And to me, it's just the perfect example of compassion for our foibles and our, where we're still working on it, and with a sense of humor, and also being able to share that with others. I think there's a lot of liberation in basic humanity.
Can I ask? I mean, this may sound like a stupid question, but I'm really how you see compassion and what that is. I can feel it, but it's my own made up, and I'm curious what you see.
Okay, well, I guess if first of all, I would compare it to, the do good from the brain, which is, I want to help people. I want to save humanity. I want to go out and, I want to make sure everyone's okay. And it's beautiful, but it's also very exhausting. And then there's a more like a grounded, like first it's a step by step, and really being in your body, really grounding into the space, into your life, and then letting yourself kind of breathe and settle so that there's space for whatever needs to arise. And then out of that space, out of that, as you feel more open, what arises from your very heart and soul and everything that you are is compassionate being. It's the ontological state of beingness. In other words, it's coming from you without effortlessly. It's like a waterfall of non-judgmental, loving presence. In some ways, it may be embodying it's not coming from the mind anymore. It's coming from an outpouring of, like, there's a word called amrita, which is like honey of the gods. And if you think of like the, visions, these pictures that we see of Yeshua, the Christ, of Mother Mary, the Divine Mother, in Buddha images, and let's say green tar or whatever, there's a lot of these different images out there that are really showing that the hands outright of it's just giving without any effort.
What I feel is like the nature of this energy, what's built into the system, how it naturally flows out. We don't have to do it on its own, and you can feel it. It's this benevolence that comes through us.
The Buddha had, he had, we call the turning of the wheels, these different levels of mastery or coming into greater and greater presence and enlightenment. And first he talked about was the Hinayana, then the Mahayana, then the Vajrayana. And at very basic level, the Hinayana is really, really seeing what's going on with yourself. And that takes time for that to really be able to honor what's happening and begin to have some space and the fog lifted. And then the Mahayana is, as I was saying before, it's beginning to feel the love for others, allowing that to percolate within you, and just let yourself be with it and start to have a familiarity. And then the Vajrayana is really about allowing the whatever that when life, whatever's allowing for anything in life to arise in the moment and receive it, and then to be there for what is needed now, but it comes from a deeper place, and it really is a connection with the divine, with that really that deeper, the saying, who am I? I am, and I am one of the facets of the diamond of the universe.
That's beautiful. I love what you just said. You said it's being with them and authentically responding from what's needed. I believe that's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you said authentically, but like can you say more about that? Because there was, I see all this over striving and people efforting. And this seems to be the antidote to that.
It's everyone, it's the secret. The secret it's not the book. It's that this is it, right here, right now. Every moment is sacred. And in that moment is what arises is an opportunity to be conscious, to be present, and just see, how may I receive this moment, and what is here for me to do. And it really is also the path of the bodhisattva, which is, how am I to serve? What do sentient beings need? What does this moment offer me? And I'll give you just again, it's also the idea of miracles and compassion happening. There's opportunities everywhere. And we just practice. That's why I love the idea. That word practice is so powerful, because it's saying there's no we don't need to look down the road to like an end, like that there's this great place where we're going to be a rainbow Buddha floating above. It's just like in our lives as they are, warts and all, yelling at your husband, or, slamming the door, or making a meal that is fabulous, that all of it is a call to being, to presence. And so in terms of practicing compassion, for instance, it starts where you are. We've all heard that. So it'd be like, I'm going to the market, I'm buying food, and I'm checking out. But there could be a moment in there where we have that opportunity at the checkout to offer some sort of a greeting and a presence to the clerk. Or I remember yesterday I was walking out of a building with my husband, and there was a man coming. Well, in general, as women, we're going to let them open the door when they come through, but just to open that door, and that man was able to walk through. It was me. I was honoring myself, like, I see this. I want to is a chance to honor this individual and let them know that I see them. And those small gestures create ripple effects that we can't even imagine for the others as they go through their days.
Oh my God, Laurie. I'm sorry, loving this question, because I feel the peace in you and the spaciousness and the reverence for life, like the momentary, the moments.
That's all it is, and every moment is a portal. Every moment is an opportunity to again and again, like I love Groundhog Day. It's like the best movie. Homer, first he's like just a complete jerk to everyone. And by the end, he's just, he is just loving up and appreciating the gift of everyone around him in whatever form they're taking. And that is really, that movie is, and I've watched it over and over again too. It's been my Groundhog Day of seeing that, how can I redo this moment again and again and again? And keeping that practice very close to home. And I always wanted to run away. I was like, can't there be somewhere else? Can't I be somewhere else? Can I have a different shaped face? And can I look like my friend Susan did, where all the guys on the beach would, come to her, like, I was like, and I was like thrown, no one looked at me, I had so many wants of how I wanted to be different, and they still come up all the time. And but slowly but surely, as compassion begins to fill the space, there's less room for that, those thoughts to come up of I'm not enough. I should be somewhere else in a different life.
Oh God, I love you just said, as compassion fills the space. Like it's like the thought, that other thought tries to get in, but like I have this image, it's like, oh no, sorry, we're filled. We filled it with love. We don't need that here.
Yeah, it's like these gratitude practices. There's there's a lot of different practices that open you up, that fill you up in a way that you don't like. Yeah, it's squeezing out a lot of the monkey mind and all of these other thoughts that really cause us to suffer. And what also happens is that we're complete. There's complete intelligence is present when our minds are not activated, that we will, in the moment, when we're coming from that place of gratitude and compassion and with more presence and equanimity, something comes up. It doesn't mean we're not going to bitch slap somebody if we have to, but when it comes from a different place that's skillful, it will and skill means that there's we're not tied up with the stories and all the history, and we can say what needs to be said, and it comes out without the rancor, and without any idea of outcome. And there's a certain kindness to it, even if it's very clear and it cuts through. So action and saying what needs to be said, and doing what you need to do in the world, or ending something, beginning something, all begin to have more to be a little bit easier.
What you remind me of is Aikido, when you just said about the presence comes, and sometimes you will make a cut, something, but it's done with love. It's coming from a place of love. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it is. It definitely is, and it makes me laugh because I'm laughing because I'm thinking about the me when I'm not coming from that place. I'm thinking of someone in particular. I won't say their name, but I'm thinking of someone who you really, I say to myself, next time I'm with this person, I'm not going to say something. If they say something that really bugs me and makes me crazy, I will not act out. I will not go nuts on them. And then, of course, multiple times I have, all of a sudden, I'm like on fire. My hair's on fire, and But when I have noticed, when I am coming from that place of love, I'm not seeing them as anything but a hero, whole and complete. I'm not seeing them anyone as someone who is. I see them as someone who wants to be loved, who wants to love, who deserves to be here and breathe and have a space. And they're most likely suffering. And when I'm in that space of compassion and love, I can still, I say what, I respond to what is just been said. That's maybe that's not very nice on one level, but I respond rather than react. It's like, and I say something that then I don't see the other person. There's no fire for fire, and it usually dissipates. It dissipates in my heart. It may not dissipate in them, but I often see it does. But it's a real freeing experience to practice that and to do it.
What I always say is I'm the one who has to feel it. So when I transform myself, I'm the one who gets to feel the love. I'm the one who gets to feel the grace or the compassion. Not for them, it's for me.
Yeah, and we're not, the idea to go out and I'm going to teach someone something is, I'm going to tell them what's up, how it's supposed to be, or educate them. We find that our world does begin to really shift. The world totally shifts and we've heard it before, when we begin to shift. and you just have to just keep doing it, and then you get to see it.
Oh my God. I think that's what you just said, is that you see it. Can you more about that?
Well, let's see. Let me think about it. For instance, I take care of my grandchildren a couple days a week. I've been doing it since they were a couple months old, so it's been over 5 years of being around the little ones. And as they've gotten older, they've started to have these personalities and not wanting necessarily for me to just be like, hugging them and kissing them and sniffing their heads all the time and like want to be all over me. They have their own experience of their own lives. And I've noticed that the times where one of them is, whining and complaining and acting out, that when I'm in the state of, oh my gosh, I don't want him to be that way, or I'm trying to tamp it down, it doesn't work out so well. I don't feel good. I don't feel like I don't feel like, and they don't have any space for their voice to just have a moment. But when I show up and I let go of how it's supposed to be, they get their chance to do whatever they need to do to act out, to be, have a tantrum within a safe space, and just be loved. And I can see that they then can, then they can get on with their day. It's such a healing that most of us didn't get, and I'm getting to in life, watching it, the difference between controlling and being with, in a way that's very, very accepting of that soul's journey and not being mine.
I feel like I want to become a little roll out around your feet right now.
Oh my God, I'm good too. I'm really good with the crafts and all. But
I know.
It really is, and I know since we both have children, that it is that they've been our biggest teacher, or I know in my case, one of my biggest teachers. And so because and partners are another big teacher. So it's all right here. It's all right here. The opportunity to have to show up in a different way. We get all kinds of chances.
I've always said, and I love that you just said that, my biggest teachers have been my husband, my daughter, all of them. I didn't have to go to an ashram in India because I had enough material living at 824 Creed Road. I mean, it was all here. Still is.
I really agree. I went to it was like a 10-day silent retreat, and I was like, oh my God, all these people, they're all so special. I know where I'm going with this. So spiritual. No one's talking. We're all like, we're doing walking meditation, chanting, meditating for 8-9 hours a day. Well, we had a Thursday night where we got to talk to each other. We sat down to this lady, and I'll say within 5 minutes, I go, oh my God, can we just go back to being silent again? Because wherever you go, there you are. Well, wherever you go, you've got the full range of everybody's neuroses, everybody's stuff. And again, it's at home, it's wherever we are, and we get a chance to see how we can be with it in a different way.
I'm going back to the passion piece, because that it's really stuck with me since you've said it. Like we fill the room with compassion. And is compassion allowing things as they are?
Compassion is a multi-step process, that happens with the intention. It's there already, but we've all been so layered down the traumas and like all of life stuff that we've lost touch with it. So that's where I love how the Buddha's path of, so compassion starts with yourself, and then it's a practice. And one practice might be, that people I've heard recommended, if you can't if you can't feel compassion, think about what makes you cry, makes you feel sentimental, like, puppies or something like that, or that you lost your first animal. So you find the gateway or the door to where you feel soft and you feel that deep longing and sorrow, and that you begin to work with that so that you can create an opening to compassion to flow through you. And it starts I've often heard, and I believe the same thing, that starts with visualizing and experience your own experience of loss and of love, and then you bit by bit can begin to bring in more of the world around you and keeping yourself in the picture.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Like, we hear words about it, but I don't know that I've ever heard it from that perspective. Compassion is feeling the grief, sorrow.
Yeah, it really is. It's beginning with your own, what's your own experience as a human being. We're on a human journey, and it's when we begin to see it as being sacred, and what right now is there for me to do right here, and what's working and what isn't, and making choices, and beginning to, as I know that you probably, because you've been involved in martial arts, how that's that you're moving energy, and same thing as a human, we're moving energy around, so that we can find our way to a deeper place of knowing and of loving presence. That we're all on that same journey. Some of us are just, really, we're just trying to break open the nuts. We start out like we're hammering it, and can it let me in, and then, or let me out. That's been a big one. Let me out of here, where there's milk and honey on the other side. So what I'm saying is that the milk and honey is right here in our own hearts and in our own lives, and we can share it.
God, hope. My wish is that you share this with a lot of people, because I know a lot of people are struggling, they're suffering, and so coming to the end. And so I think that's a perfect way to end this. And so, Laurie, how does a blessed human being find you or connect with you?
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for your very insightful questions. They can find me through my website, which is essentcoaching.com, ESSENT coaching.com. And my name is Laurie Clemans.
Great. Well, it's been an honor, an absolute delight. I feel the milk and honey right now. I think I might need to go get a biscuit.
I may just get a spoon and go straight for the honey jar.
Yeah. It's just been delightful. Thank you so much.